Hello my dear students. Today we will start with the second chapter, that is classification of elements. Okay, elements. We know that elements are available from nature. Some elements are synthesized in the lab. From the ancient time, how these elements were classified. Some elements appeared in solid form, some elements are in liquid form, some elements are in gaseous form. Okay. Now the scientists have tried to classify the elements into various types. So in this chapter we will be studying about the work done by various scientists. How did they classify the elements into groups, or finally we got something called as periodic table. How was that process? Who was the first person who started the classification, and who was the person who gave us the proper periodic classification of elements? From the mistakes done by the earlier scientists, those mistakes were rectified, and today we have something called as the modern periodic table. So we will study about that journey. Now we all know that hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, all these are elements. Some elements are in solid state, some are in liquid state, some are in gaseous state. Okay? And also you know about atoms. Elements consist of atoms. No, atom is the smallest part of any matter. Atom consists of certain terms related to atom, which are nucleus. In the nucleus you have the neutron and the proton, and then you have the electron. So these are things you have already studied about. Now let us talk about molecules. For that I will give you the example. Here we have the hydrogen molecule, similarly oxygen molecule, nitrogen molecule. As you can see, molecules are the substances which contains two or more atoms. Molecules are the substances that contain two or more atoms. So here, same atom of hydrogen, two atoms of hydrogen make a molecule of hydrogen. Similarly, two atoms of oxygen make a molecule of oxygen. So these were about molecules. Next I am moving on to compound. What are compounds? Again, example will give you best idea. Various compounds, that is, water is a compound, NaCl or sodium chloride a compound. All these are compounds. So what are compounds? Compounds are the substances which are made up of two or more elements. Molecules contain two or more atoms, whereas compounds contain two or more elements. Can I say that compounds can also be called as molecule? Molecule means two or more atoms. No, oh, that is correct here. But can I say that molecules are compounds? No. Molecules are not compounds. Why? What are compounds? Compounds are made up of two or more elements. Whereas here you have the same element. You have the element hydrogen, you have the element oxygen, you have the element nitrogen. So I can say that compounds are molecules, but all molecules are not compound. In compound you should have two or more element. Okay? More than one element is necessary for formation of compound. Now let us discuss about what is the need of this classification of elements. Why should we classify elements? Best example is, we can take the example of a mall. If you go to a mall, you know that there is a separate section for different items. For example, you want to try perfumes, you can go for a section which is only devoted for perfumes. Or you want to try something else, juices, or you want to try some eateries. So there are certain sections, one section for biscuits, one section for pulses, one section for oil, one section for detergents. Like that, there are separate place given, separate slots given for different items. So as soon as you go, you can choose from similar items. Okay. So shopping becomes very easy. We know that soap section, nobody will keep a packet of Maggi. No, eateries will not be kept. So because eateries will be kept in a different section. Same like some snack items like kurkure and all, it will be kept in separate rack. So one rack will be devoted which has similar properties. In chemical words I am using. the items which have similar properties will be kept in one rack. Items which have different properties will be kept in another rack. Understood? So we need the classification of elements so that some elements show similar properties to other elements. So such elements are kept together. First person to try his hand in classification of elements was Dobereiner. The first person to try his hand on classification of elements was Dobereiner. Dobereiner was a scientist who tried to classify the elements in the year 1817. What did Dobereiner do? He made certain groups of elements. He made groups of elements and that group contained three elements. He made groups of elements and he called this group of three elements as triads. Triads means three. And he said that he found that the atomic mass of the middle element, that is sodium. Let me write the atomic mass of lithium, 6.9. You have to by heart the values. Sodium is 23 and 39.1. Okay. He classified the elements into groups of three. He said that these three elements, a group of three elements are called as triads. And he said that the atomic mass of the middle element, that is here sodium, was approximately equal to the average of the atomic masses of the first and the third element. Let us try this calculation. Atomic mass of the middle element means atomic mass of sodium 23. No? So this you will get this 23 if you take the average of the first and the third element. So just see 39.1 plus 6.9 is equal to, so we got 46.0. Average means you divide by 2. So you are getting 23, which was the atomic mass of sodium. Okay. So what are Dobereiner's triads? Dobereiner considered the atomic masses of the elements while classifying them. He considered the atomic masses. I am focusing on the term masses. Dobereiner considered the atomic masses of the elements while classifying the elements. He said that the atomic mass of the middle element is approximately equal to the average of the atomic masses of the first and the third element. Then similarly he made some triads, but the limitation, the disadvantage of this type of classification was that all the elements which were known at that time, 1817, very few elements were known, but those elements did not obey Dobereiner's triads rule. Only few elements could be classified, like lithium, sodium and potassium, chlorine, bromine and iodine also. They also obeyed Dobereiner's triads rule. But other elements, they did not obey Dobereiner's triads rule. Now please pay attention that in the revised syllabus, you have to learn only this example. Okay, so I am not talking about the other two examples which are mentioned in your textbook. Understood? So the first person to do the classification of elements was Dobereiner in the year 1817. Remember the date. And why this technique failed? Because all the elements known at that time could not be classified into triads. After Dobereiner tried his hand in classification of elements, many years later, that was in the year 1866, another scientist called as John Newland. He tried John Newland. You can see in the year 1866, John Newland tried to classify the elements. What he did was, he arranged the elements in increasing order of the atomic mass. For example, the element with the least atomic mass, that is hydrogen, he kept first. Then he started arranging the elements one after the other. After hydrogen, he started arranging. And this person, Newland, he was more interested in music. Okay. He was interested in music, so he tried to compare the behavior or the properties of elements with the notes of music. For example, as you all know, the notes of music, that is sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. Oh, you know, no? Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. Same way, he tried to compare the notes of music to the properties of elements. So how did he do that? He said sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. Okay. Then again the eighth note, again sa is repeated. He tried to classify the elements based on the octaves of music. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and again the sa is repeated. No? He gave the table somewhat like this. You don't worry about by hearting this table. You need not by heart the table. You just understand what was Newland's way of classification of table. He gave this table like this, and then he kept cobalt and nickel also here. Okay. So like we have the notes or the octaves of music, he compared it with the properties of elements. He said that every eighth element showed properties similar to the first element. For example, if I am talking about lithium. So from lithium, just start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he said that the elements lithium and sodium both had similar properties. Like that he did the comparison. Okay. Then he gave us this table. It was in this format. Okay. And few more elements were there. I did not write it because again this classification was a failure. So you need not by heart the elements the classification which was a failure. This classification again was proved to be wrong. Okay. So the classification was somewhat like this, where what did he say? He said that every eighth element, for example, if I am starting from beryllium, okay, if I am starting from beryllium 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So beryllium and magnesium both had similar properties. What was the main drawback or limitation of this Newland's law of classification? This law was found to be applicable only up to calcium. Okay, that was the first. The elements which were discovered after calcium did not obey this periodic law. It did not get its place in this periodic table. So that this periodic table which was given by Newland was a failure. Newland did the classification. He said that he arranged the elements in increasing order of the atomic mass. Increasing order of atomic mass, he arranged the elements, and he said that every eighth element had properties similar to the first. But again, he could classify the elements which were available till then. He classified 56 elements which were available at that time in the form 7 into 8 boxes. Okay, wherein what are the limitations of this periodic classification? What went wrong? Okay, in some box, as you can see, for you I have written it separately. In one box, he tried to fit 2 elements together. Okay, but that is not correct. No, every element should have its own place. So here 2 elements he tried to fit in one box, plus there were many other defects. For the elements which would be discovered later, he did not leave any space, or he did not say that the elements which will be discovered will follow this pattern, nothing. And there were other defects like, for example, oxygen and sulfur. He placed it with iron. Iron, which is metal, right? Iron is metal, but these two are non-metals. So this is wrong. How can the properties of metals and non-metals be same? So that proved to be wrong. Again, hydrogen, fluorine, chlorine. And he kept cobalt and nickel. These are chlorine and all are halogen gas. Whereas he kept cobalt and nickel with those halogens. Cobalt and nickel are metals. Again, this classification, these properties are wrong. How can properties of metals and halogens be same? Okay, these were the defects of the classification given by Newland. Or the of octaves, Newland's classification of octaves. He tried to accommodate 2 elements in the same box. One first defect. He tried to accommodate 2 elements in the same box. Second defect was that non-metals and metals were placed together. Okay. Then cobalt and nickel, that is metals, were placed with halogens and not leave any blanks for the elements which would be discovered later. These all were the limitations of Newland's law of octaves. Understood? So in today's class, what did we learn? Why is periodic classification of elements necessary? Why should we classify the elements? To understand the properties of elements in detail. Now each and every element, if you try to write down the properties, it becomes very hectic process to remember properties of each element. So if you are classifying, as I gave you example of the mole, no, when you classify, so these elements should follow the same properties. So for that, for easiness to study the properties of elements, we need classification of elements.